After the ball is over, after the skein is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 547. Today is it's Tuesday.
Yeah, because we were going to do Monday, but...
March 28th. Okay, let's start it again. We are podcasting on a different day, in case you haven't realized that. Today is Tuesday, March 28th, 2023. As we are recording, is episode 547. My name is Marlisha. I'm also known as Lady Fernico.
And I'm Talia, also known as Princess Gypsy. Sorry for the confusion. I really wasn't feeling well yesterday.
We want to welcome all new and returning viewers to the Fun in the Woman Cave. If you are new, welcome. We hope you see something you like and that you will remain. You can, if you are returning, we're always glad to have you back. If you're in the shadows, either new or returning, and you'd like to become more active, you'd like to be official or take part in the alongs and things, first of all, to become official, just tap the little subscribe button on your right, it's a little red button, and tap the little bell so you can get notifications. You can adjust your notifications so that it doesn't overwhelm you with the amount. Not that we do an overwhelm amount, we just do once a week.
No, we just do one.
But, so you can get that at the frequency you desire. And then if you want to take part in the alongs and things, that has to happen at the PHN home group, which is PHN podcast.freeforms.net, and that's in the little description box below the video. The reason we're a little discombobulated today is because we had several important calls come through, and we had rushing around
one after another.
And then I had to take Davina for some blood work after this, so we're kind of crunched for time.
Everything just kind of...
It all converged.
Yes.
So that's why we're a little bit not quite focused. Okay.
Before I forget, though, I just want to mention, in case you forget later, there is a Zoom on Friday for the PHN patrons for the top tier, the highest tier.
Yeah.
So that will be,
and that's always
Friday.
fun. That's always fun. So I wasn't sure about that. I was trying to tell that I think it's this week.
Yeah, it's the last Friday of the month unless something comes up, and nothing's come up. So last Friday.
Knock on wood. Okay.
Yeah.
How many do you have?
Trey.
Okay, I think I have 4. Let me check real quick. Because I sent this long without even clearing out what I'd done. So let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I've got 4. So I have more by 1?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
4 is more than 3.
I completely forgot what you said. I'm paying attention. Okay. So in my Memento Mori mug, I meant to get... I just pulled this one because I like it, but I was hoping I should have pulled out my owl or my
I have
hobo head or something. But anyway, this is I've got.
Careful, you're gonna not spill towards yourself.
Thank you. Once I have, I was gonna say, once again I have Poirot's little gray cells in here, because not his actual little gray cells, but
that would be really
the little gray cells.
That would be disturbing.
I needed the caffeine, and I also had something very sweet in the stroop that this would be.
That's how you get mad cow disease, is by brains that have the certain prions in it that carry mad cow.
I don't care.
So you don't want to get mad cow from Poirot. You'd be getting mad Poirot. Mad Belgian. You get Mad Belgian.
Mad Belgique. So this is really good. It has just a little touch of mocha chocolate in it, because it's the closest thing I will drink to a coffee. And so it's very, very good, and I really like it, and I'm gonna have to probably get more because I keep drinking it.
Yeah, I know that I had to get refills of certain things when I had to pick up something.
Right. So
because I tend to drink a lot of the same. I have my grab bag of, like, if I'm too lazy to go to my tins, I can just pick out. That's actually what's been really good about that red box thing. I have one available because you wanted to see if some of your yarn would fit in it.
Oh, right.
Because I cleared one out because I don't want to keep all this stuff upstairs. So there's one available for you.
I'll have to take a look and see if that'll fit, because if that'll fit, then maybe I can have this a little less messy in here.
Yeah, and that would be nice for you.
Yeah. Because my yarn is still in the packages, and it's if I'm not careful, it all falls and it avalanches on me.
Yeah,
So-
I've been in the process of reorganizing things in my room to make more room for books because there's been a lot of adjusting, changing of old books, so we want to get them where they can't touch them on Kindle, can't change them underneath of us. So that means more book space is needed. So there's been reorganized. That's actually how I managed to dislocate my knee a couple weeks ago, was because I was reorganizing.
All right, don't get started on that. That's life stuff, and that's
Well,
something
that won't be anything. That's just a.
okay. We need to have
My tea is in my All I Want to Do is Hug All the Bunnies mug. Black mugs are not necessarily good for me because I have been known to overfill them a lot.
I've been known to overfill other mugs.
Well, the white ones I'm better at because I can see where I am at. The black ones, if I'm not paying attention, I'll just not see. And then I will overfill just because I don't know where the water's at.
Yeah.
But I did not do that this time. This is Bella Luna tea. Sorry, I have a feeling, I'm starting to feel some of that stuff I get back here when I'm headed toward a migraine. I'm not going to get it here, but I'll probably have one when we're done.
This might be very focused for a number of reasons, to stave off her migraine, and also because I have an appointment for Davina. For Davina's fine. It's just blood work. Some blood work.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's get into what's the alongs.
Maybe do the full-on ones on time when we don't have a time crunch.
Well, it's not the first.
Oh, you're right. It's not.
It's not the first. Okay, so we have the PHN movie night MakeAlong, and that's a 4-quarter thing. We're still in the first quarter, and basically it runs all year, and the projects knit, loom knit, crocheted, woven, paper crafts such as journaling, origami, card making, etc. And the hashtag is hashtag PHN Movie Night 2023 on Instagram. The feature charts and feature patterns, all that stuff is on the PHN site. I'm not going to go through it today because time, and also it's not the right time to do it in terms of the time of the month, the time of the quarter. So it's all there. If you have questions, feel free to contact me or Talia. Talia might not get you, but me or even Renna, and Renna will tag me if she doesn't know the answer. Renna is fabulous, and we have a couple other moderators as well who pop in and out, and we'll.
Well, there's
do
some
what they
people
can.
who just will even just tag us because they're like,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, we have
she'll know.
we have one or two other moderators beside Renna, and we also have some very knowledgeable what we call-
Undercover.
Yes, they are in disguise moderators. They are just really knowledgeable, and they're very helpful. We're very blessed with our group. Okay, the Ready, Set, Go MakeAlong, we have a week left in that, I think. So, and this is exactly what it sounds like. It's starting all the things. It was January through the end of March. So it nothing could be started before January 1st. And let's see here. It's basically the same stuff except that as the other along, except that it, like I said, it had to be started no earlier than January 1st. That's right. Hashtag is PHN Ready, Set, Go 2023 on Instagram. And again, all this is in the PHN group. People are starting to do this one.
Do which one?
The PHN Celebrating Spring Passover and Easter Mail.
Oh, good.
I think it's because we moved it into the right area. So, really happy about that. This one runs March 1st through May 14th. And I may make it May 15th just because it's actually the middle of the month. But we wanted to make it go through Mother's Day, okay? And the theme for this, anything having to do with holidays during this time period, such as Easter, Passover, Mother's Day, spring, the coming of spring, anything like that, okay? And the hashtag for this is CSPE 2023 on Instagram. This is all on the forum there. Okay, just go look that up. especially that hashtag. I know it's just a bunch of letters and numbers. It might have been hard for you to understand what I'm saying with that because.
And honestly, the hashtag's only important if you're in the group and going to be doing the along anyway. And all that information is on the first post in the along.
Yeah. So that takes care of all that. So very quick.
And you had the first project.
I do have the first project. Let me see here. My first project is in my angel bag. My name's my bag, angel bag. And I did do some work on this. This is my film noir shawl. I had hoped to finish this, but because of the other project that I will show you later, this one's not getting as much attention because there's no time frame on this one. But there is a time frame on that one. Let's see if I can find the bottom here so I can show this to you. It's growing, there it is. It's growing really well because it does that when you work on it. It's kind of tied up here. I did cut all the unnecessary ends, but it's still kind of, there we go. So you can see, I could wear this right now.
But you want it bigger.
But I want it bigger because see, it's not big enough. It needs to be bigger.
I think it's almost as big as mine is on me.
No, it needs to be bigger. Okay, it needs to be down to here. So I'm looking at maybe.
Actually, mine might be about a little bit bigger too. Yeah.
4 to 6 inches maybe still. But with these stitches, I think that 4 to 6 inches.
You're so close.
It's close. So, and my yarns are basically for this one is basically Miss Babs and Dragonfly Fibers. So, it's Release the Royal Arm. Okay, there we go. So that takes care of this. I'm almost ready to change the color on this side. So, ooh, it looks like this is splitting.
In my Knit for Brains teapots bag that Laura gave me is Bomber's Hoodie Cow. That's my project name. The pattern is Thorns Hoodie Cow. And I am using the colorway Squash Blossom from Miss Babs, using the Yowza base.
I think it was Rena who was so happy to see it. She said the color made her happy.
And I look forward to having this one because I currently don't have anything quite this shade. And I do wear a fair amount of this, although I don't have as many shirts as I'd like in this color. I'd like to have more.
Please, sir, I'd like some more.
I can't find ones in the style that I like that are this color.
I don't know why. It might be something that it's not as flattering in that color, because certain colors.
I think a lot of people don't like wearing this color.
That may be part of it, but also there are certain colors that are useful when you're wearing certain styles. That they assume you want to do a certain type of thing, and so it might be that isn't very. It maybe works against the style.
Yeah. And
I'm not saying that's what it is. It might just be that, like you said, people don't wear that color.
Because one of my favorite short sleeve styles that I like does happen to be a bright yellow, but that's the only one I have in a style that I really love.
Which is
unfortunate.
A picture of that outfit I told you about that Dad used to like me so much in came up on our frame. You could see the top.
Oh, okay.
Or not all of the top, but you could tell I was wearing yellow.
I tend to wear yellow as an accent with black if I don't wear red because I have enough red to use the red and I don't have enough yellow to always use the yellow in the way I'd like to. So,
although Ty and I can wear the same colors, we tend to gravitate a little bit toward different colors.
Well, you gravitate toward brown more than I do.
Our common ground is red.
Yes. Well, I wear a fair amount of blue.
Yeah. And I wear a lot of blue as well.
I started to wear more purple.
I wear green.
I do wear a fair amount of green.
Yeah, both. I think red and green and blue are probably the colors that we really interchange. We could interchange, but
now the amount we wear of it, I don't know. If we do definitely gravitate towards, even though we wear the same, it's enough that Davina can say, "This is your colors. That's your colors."
But she stopped saying to me about red because I wear enough of it that I've started wearing, for a while there, I was wearing more green than anything else.
You were.
So it was just, which is, I guess you kind of have your, which makes sense since I like teal so much with these blues and greens,
Well, I have a fair amount of purple because a lot of the style I like to wear, they have a fair amount of purple and a couple different shades. So, and it's a color I can wear. I just haven't worn it a lot.
I can wear purple. It's just not one I really gravitate toward. I mean, it has to be a jewel tone.
That's my preferred.
Yeah.
Although a dark purple's not bad because it's toward black.
Yeah, that's good too. But I don't like to wear like the lavender or the.
No, lavender's a little bit more challenging.
That's more Davina's colors.
It is. But yeah, so I look forward to having this. I probably would see myself, because I don't have as much yellow as I'd like, I would see myself wearing a full black outfit, this, and then with my yellow Little Women shawl jacket thing.
Yeah. That interesting construction of Joanne Johnson's, yeah.
Yes. I actually wear that one more than I do the blue one.
The blue one.
The Ann sweater.
Oh, right.
It just hasn't been the weather for the yellow one right now. But yeah, that's it for me. I didn't get a whole lot done on this, but slowly but surely.
Okay, let me just clip this one off so I don't lose the stitch. I mean, I can pick it up and do what I have to do, but I don't want to. So, where is my...
Your thing
I took it off. Yeah, okay. All right. Christina, I'm still thinking about your question. I'm not ignoring you. I'm seriously still thinking. She asked me a question. It should be a very easy question to answer, but
you just don't remember.
I don't remember, so I have to think about it. She's such a sweetheart. Let me see here. Put this away. This bag is almost too small for this project. Because, I mean, think about it. When I make this shawl, I mean, it's almost, it's not as big as a blanket, obviously, but it's, well on its way to being like a lap gown or something.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've actually used, if I'm wearing one, I've used the other as a lap gown in a pinch.
Yeah.
Because I just get so cold.
If I'm riding in Daddy's truck and I'm cold, I will put it on my
I've
lap.
done that.
Yeah. Okay, the next one is in my Silver Shed USA. I think this is I'm not sure if this is my large or extra large. I can never remember. Podiversary bag. Okay. I'm glad that Anne started doing it here instead of on the zipper because I kept pulling it off.
Yeah, I kept losing them.
Okay, so this is my Strawberry Shortcake Baby Blanket project. This is another one that is kind of fun, but all my projects are crocheted this time.
Well, I mean, that's no shocker. You've been gravitating back towards your
but I have
base. I get
my
I'm not thinking words right.
It's not even that though. It's just that it's something I can do without thinking about it.
Right.
And so I've been working. Is that my printer?
That is your printer.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm very distractible. This one I didn't work on too much because the other one took precedence, and with this particular stitch, I don't want to be doing maybe more than one with a lot of it.
Right.
So you can see it's growing.
And all your crochet projects seem to have like special stitches,
except for this shawl.
Well, the shawl isn't it? It's not just single crochet.
No, it's double, but it's not like a special stitch.
Okay.
Isn't that pretty? Look
Yeah,
at the way
it
it's okay. So that's. I have to try and get this out before it knots because if this knots, I'm never gonna. Get it to
you'll be doomed.
So, I'm getting ready to change a ball, which is why I did the very stupid thing of trying to make it so it didn't get in my way.
Oh no!
And so let me see here. There it is.
And so you tried to do what you would do for others, which would be make it into kind of a
little what do you call a little bobbin sort of thing.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You do it sometimes for color work.
Yeah. So, but this is a very, very soft yarn, and it's a ice yarn, and I'm very grateful for the people who got me into the ice yarn, Crystal and Kara, and of course Taya, who got me into these yarns because they are very nice to work with. I don't particularly care for this particular base because it's very fuzzy.
Well, we didn't look very closely when we ordered that one.
No, and that's the only thing I don't like about it. Is the fact that it's fuzzy. It's very soft, but because of the fuzz, because of the halo, it catches on itself and it makes it really hard to tink back and fix a mistake. I had to kind of work around something because it knotted on me, and so I had to.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't want to cut it, so I just kind of worked it into the pattern. And yes, I can do that with crochet. How about that? So yeah, that's all I have to say about this. This is really pretty. It reminds me of strawberry shortcake, which is why I named it what I did.
So my next one is in my nice and sturdy Maryland sheep and wool bag, tote bag, and this one is only got a little bit of work on it. I mean, one row takes a while.
Yeah, that's a big project.
This is my Garnet Love Throw, and the pattern is Lots of Love Baby Blanket. Now I actually chose to make it much larger than that. This is going to be a large throw. So
And who is it by?
this is by 10 hours or less, and I am I actually pretty much am definitely gonna need more yarn, because when he designed this pattern, it called for 3 worsted held together. I'm doing 1 bulky, and so I had to go down quite a few needle sizes to get the texture that I desired, and so I'm going to need more yarn than anticipated. Also, I was guesstimating how much I would need for a blanket of this size. Thankfully, this is Knit Picks Swish Bulky. It's not a super expensive yarn. When I get to that point again, I will know how much I need. I know the colorway will be there. So, it's really pretty.
It's very pretty.
You can't see the pattern yet because there's a huge amount of garter edging before I get to the middle pattern, because I've chosen to make it so much bigger than the original. He doesn't have you repeat the middle pattern. He has you make the border ginormous. So I am going to be seed stitching forever, which is part of why I'm doing it as I feel up to like seed stitching. I do about a row at a time because I don't always want to seed stitch forever.
Seed stitch drives me insane.
I don't mind seed stitch, but I can't do it if I'm not focused. I can do it when I'm not focused to a certain extent.
I always lose my place, and so I don't want to do seed stitch.
Well,
I love the way it looks, and I love the way it feels.
If I forget that I'm doing seed stitch, is a problem. But if I remember I'm doing seed stitch, I can read my stitches. Sorry. Well enough to know what I'm supposed to do next. It's just that it's a little harder to read and do it. Or I know one time I was trying to do reading sprints with Too Fond of Books, and we were chatting in the chat, and I was trying to read and I was trying to do seed stitch, and the seed stitch suffered. So I had to go back, take it back to where it actually made sense, and yeah. But this is going to be lovely. I would suggest checking out the Lots of Love Baby Blanket.
And everything else he has.
And everything else he has. I've knit this once before, actually out of, what is the name of that baby yarn that we normally use? It's a big old, I want to say it's Lion Brand?
Pound of Love.
Pound of Love. I knit one out of Pound of Love in a really pretty blue, and I ended up giving it to a PHNer actually, and thoroughly enjoyed that project, which is why I wanted to knit another one.
George is amazing, and some of the patterns that used to be available, you can't find them anymore.
Well, George also, he's hit my weakness, which is I love knitting patterns with hearts on them.
Yeah, I do too. Hearts. I like hearts and birds.
Yeah. So.
And hearts and owls, but you don't find as many hearts and owls. Owls are birds anyway, but
you'll find bunnies and hearts more than you'll find. But hearts and like singing type birds are the ones you'll usually see.
Yeah, and I like the
whole lovebirds concept.
The owls with the trees. Yeah, the owls with trees. That you find those, and I think Pat was saying that she likes hearts and birds too.
So now it be your turn. I'm trying to remember. I think I used. That's when the one I did with birds, Grandma and Grandpa's.
Yes.
I was trying to remember.
Stockings, or?
It was stocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did because I flipped their colors. I was trying to remember. I knew I knit something fairly recently with lovebirds on them, and that's what I knit.
Okay, let me put this.
So I was pretty sure I designed something like that. After a while, I forget what I designed and what I don't.
Yeah, well, it starts blurring.
Yeah.
Okay, that goes there. Okay, now, let me see here. Okay, the next thing I have Okay, this one, I did do a little work on this. My little preemie hat. This is,
Well, that's your knit pattern.
Huh?
That's a knit pattern.
It's a loom knit pattern. This is Kickapoo Owl's bag. It's a Kickapoo Bags, and that's Denise. Knitting Den. I don't know
Sorry.
if she still has a shop or not, but
Yeah, I'm not sure because she said she was going with the local yarn shop.
she had. But that was pre-pandemic, so I don't
Yeah.
know. I think it was pre-pandemic when I first saw it.
She makes good bags.
She makes very good bags. This is very. I've had this one for years, and
Well, that was a consolation early gift because
Yeah.
you spilled tea on your angel
and I
one,
still have
think.
that. Not my angel one. It's my French lady's bag,
That's right.
and I
You-
still have it.
and you were pouting about it, and I was barely holding in the fact that I got you the owl Christmas anyway. So I just was like, "Here, this is meant to be Christmas, but now it's not."
I love this bag. It makes me happy.
Because I was so proud of myself for finding an owl Christmas and
It's
like
so
stealing
pretty.
it for you.
Yeah, the only other owl Christmas I had is the one Davina did for me.
Right. Well, this was prior to that.
Yeah, it was. That's what I'm saying. They don't, for whatever reason, they don't seem to make owl Christmases. So
Well, I mean, I think owls are kind of, they're popular owl in Christmas. I can see where you might be like,
this one's adorable though, with all the owls and Christmas. And Davina's is also adorable. It's in there somewhere. I can't see it right now, but
well, we have our own little collection of Davina bags.
yeah, Davina bags. We have a lot of Davina bags.
We do. All my Davina bags are taken up with projects right now.
So here is the progress I made on the hat. So you can see it's quite a bit. I think it was up here last time. The person who asked about the Potiversary bags, you have to go to Silver Shed USA. That's Ann Gardner now, I think is her name. And she won't have it pre-made because it was a special thing.
But you might have, if she has the fabric
she
still.
still has the machine.
Right.
So you can tell her you want it and that you're a PHNer, and she'll work
Try to
with
work
you.
out something.
She'll probably
Yeah.
be able to work with you on that because she is doing things now. So maybe she'll be able to work with you if you want to get a PHN
And
10-year Potiversary bag.
I think you have to search it all one word, Silver Shed USA. Oh, we should have the link in the description.
We do.
So
Ann is one of our special ones.
Look in the description, you'll see the link.
Yeah. I think we have her and Joanna Johnson and 10 Hours or Less, I think.
I had to check and see. I can't remember if we still have George in there, or if we ever got a chance to put. If he's not in there, I need to put him in there.
Yeah, we have a few people that we like so much that
because I've edited that area, so I'm not sure what's still there and what isn't. It's been a little while. I do know that Silver Shed USA is there. Okay,
She's
so
done so much for the shop.
yes, she has for the. She's done so much for the podcast.
Yeah.
So my final one is I had run out of free normal bags, so this gets another tote. This is my Batman tote. I used to use one like this for work.
Is that Pabaloo?
Oh no, this is just a normal tote I used to take to work.
Oh, okay.
My Pod Blue is holding like yarn for a project adjacent,
Right.
a needle adjacent,
yeah.
thing. So no, this is a just a random bag. I have several in this of this type that I used to use for different things.
I've got all my canvas bags upstairs because I don't have space from down here, but I pull them out, especially Laura's when I want to go places.
But this project here is another 10 hours or less, and that's George. There's another one of his patterns. Blah. This pattern is actually one that I didn't realize he had. I had to pick it up. I'm not sure if it's a newer one. I think it might be because I had a lot of his patterns before.
Yeah.
This is Log Cabin Love Baby Blanket. And I call this pattern my Love Cabin Lap Blanket because my intention is I get cold on my desk, but sometimes my Afghan my miter square is just a little too long. Let's see if I had the picture. The picture's too far down. I'll actually show you this is a project.
Oh, yeah.
So I actually made a lot of progress on this.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
Let's see, so this is the part where I'm at, but as you can see, it is building. What I'm now trying to do is from this point onward, I'm trying to have like, even if it's slightly colors off, I'm trying to have like, I'll have a lighter green and a darker green in the next level, and like a lighter
I was
red.
wondering, you said it's not completely scrappy.
Well, it is scraps because that's what I have.
Yeah, but it's not like a scrap.
No, I'm looking at the way he did. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. because then it kind of gives it a slight bit of cohesion. But you're going to start seeing it move away from this more pastel, because I have scraps of now as it gets bigger, it has to be bigger amounts of yarn anyway, but I had some green left over from something, and then a fairly large amount of green that I'll use next. So like this longer end, like there'll be a longer end,
pretty.
probably on this side, I think, that'll be the brighter green. So yeah, it's gonna, right now it's fairly, it's pastel, but it's fairly neutrally pastel-y, so that'll change. It looks more neutral in this view, but I think it's brighter where you guys can see it. And yeah, I just love these hearts.
I would call muted.
Muted, okay, yeah. So I love these seed stitch hearts. So yeah, you would hate working this blanket because there is a fair amount of seed stitch.
Yeah, I love the way it looks, love the way it feels, hate working it. Just, ugh. Don't like it at all.
So yeah, it curls a lot right now, but I know it's gonna have an edging. I ran out of yarn here, so I found as close to a brown as I could to fill it in, because it was like, I'm not restarting this whole section here. I'm almost done with it. So the top of the hearts are just a slightly different brown.
You just burned it, that's all.
Yeah, exactly. It got burned.
It's called a design element.
I just didn't feel like, finding another yarn. I was like, it's so close, and it matches the other side, and I don't feel like So I didn't. I just found another yarn that worked closely enough. So yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be just enough weight without it being so long that'll catch in the wheels of my chair.
Right.
Because that's what's going to kill my miter squares, if I keep catching the wheels of my chair. So yeah, that's it for this. I look forward to starting the green, which is the next section.
Yeah, okay, let me just...
I'm pretty sure if I have the green next and not the red. I have, like, on my desk is so full of yarn right now, because I'm like, this two next, and this two next, and this two next. So I have it, like, visually set up for myself, and as I work my way through it, there'll be more room on my desk again. But I have a specific plan, and I don't want it to mess up in my head.
It's not a scrap blanket.
Well, it's scrap insofar as that I've used all the yarn before. I think I might have 2 skeins that I didn't, that are smaller knit picks that I had picked up for another project, or maybe I had gotten like thrown into like maybe someone gave me or something like that, that they didn't get used either, because I decided, like, I have a lot of red and a certain knit picks brand, or knit picks base, because I intended it for brioche. I think there was one I intended for brioche, but I decided not to do it because I didn't have the focus. So I have all this yarn in this color. I'm just like, that little baby skein I can use. But
let me just...
you did all your projects.
No, I'm on the last one.
Oh, then show your last one.
Okay, let me just show you this one. Speaking of Davina Bags, this is not the Christmas owl bag, but it is one of her owl bags, because she gives me owl bags for various type of owl bags. This is just an owl bag, and I love it. All her owls remind me of Artemis on, I think his name is Artemis.
Well, she probably has it slightly, you know what actually makes me think of? The one from, Rockadoodle?
No, he reminds
me. But
me.
the eyes make me think of the one.
No, he reminds me very strongly of the one from Sword and Stone.
It's been a while since I've seen Sword and Stone, but the expression makes me think of Rockadoodle.
She's a good artist for this kind of stuff. She made this.
I think it's kind of like the helplessly, innocently look on his face that sometimes that one from Rockadoodle, not the mean one, the little chicken neck one.
Adequate pipe.
Yeah, adequate pipe.
Adequate duct.
Yeah, that one.
So this is the blanket that's going to be a wedding gift. So it has grown. Wow, I didn't realize how much it grown until I look in the... That's pretty. Look at that.
It's going to be so nice.
Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Michelle liked it.
Oh, good. When's the wedding gift? September.
So this is why my other things are kind of getting pushed aside, because I don't like being under a deadline for anything.
Yeah,
so,
I have to finish my 3 orders so I can do the wedding rosaries.
Because even in school, if you gave me a project that had to be done by the end of the term, I finished that project, like, I would finish it as early as possible. And that way I didn't have to worry about it. It was done, and I could concentrate on other things. That's the same way it is with this. If I have something that's a deadline, I need to get started on it right away, and I need to work on it until it's finished. And so other things, I only have so much time in a day, and so I work on this and this as long as my hands will allow. I'll work on this. Now,
Well, especially with hand limitations, you have to choose when you can.
right. So that's all I really have to say about this. This is my bare necessities colorway, so it's you don't have to worry about whether or not I can match it if I get more yarn. I think I have a total of 14 skeins.
And for you, that might be enough.
It might be enough
Because you're
I went by
I think
his-
you decided it wasn't going to be quite as big as mine.
It's pretty close.
Okay, well, you
It's
might
pretty close.
Well, you see, it's going to be. No, you might be okay because even though it's crochet, he was only holding 2 together for yours, whereas he was holding 3 together,
Right.
and you didn't have to go down a hook size.
I did go down a hook size.
Oh, you and how many hook sizes?
He wanted a.
I thought you were going.
He wanted an M and an N,
Okay.
and when I went to this, I just went down to a K.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
So you might need more than 14. You'll have to see. For me, I went down so significantly that it's going to take more yarn for me.
and that's okay. I mean, it's a wedding gift. You have to put money. You have to put some kind of effort and money into a wedding gift.
Yeah.
It's not going to be something that's inexpensive because it's a wedding gift.
Well, that's why when we talked, it's like, okay, I'll do the gifts of the rosaries, and you'll do the wedding wedding blanket Afghan, because it's gonna take a lot of your effort and.
Because I was originally going to purchase the rosaries, but I can't do both.
Well, and it also allows me to be able to make a gift, so it works out. I'm gonna do pink agate because I want to. It's a good way to adjust my listing anyway. I think the pink agate will be better for the wife beads. It's this very light pink, and with a white cord, it's going to be beautiful. Plus, it's a little bit more lightweight than stainless steel. And then I'm changing the hematite beads for the husband to black onyx, so also a little bit lighter. And then I can keep, if I want to, the thinner cord.
Here's a nice heavy rosary to beat the nice lady with.
I mean, it's nice to have a heavy rosary.
And that was a misquote. It was a reference.
Yes,
but it was
and that's a reference to
the Quiet Man, which is with Maureen O'Hara and John Wayne.
So, okay, we have no FOs.
Yeah, let me just finish this stitch here.
We don't have any graphic novel. Well, you have you didn't have it over here. Your tin. Your artwork for your Mexican.
Oh right, it's nothing special. It's just words. And I'll talk about that later. My blend that I did. Okay.
But yeah, so and we said no FOs. That leads us on to stash enhancements. I don't have anything that I'm really going to be showing here. Most of any stash enhancements I'm going to be having are going to be coming to Booktube, because when I returned 2 braces that ended up just not being the right style for me, 2 knee braces, they, instead of returning to my bank account like I would have hoped, or even to my credit card, it returned to Amazon.
Amazon.
To my Amazon, it became an Amazon gift card, and so that's the only place I could spend it. So I am using that to pick up books because it's like the Pug Dog. This is a reference to sorry,
Life with Father.
Life with Father, and the whole thing is that the wife, which for any of us logic makes sense. Well, I already spent
it. I gave it back, but now I can put it for this.
Right, because it's already been spent. I'm
funny
used to it being gone.
Yep.
So now I can get something else I want for returning it. It's not really saving money like she thought it was, but it feels like saving money.
Yeah, and it's already been spent.
And it's already been spent, so it's like, well, I've already written that off.
Yeah, it's already gone. So I have to give away the Pug Dog, so I get a pair of pants for my son.
So it's like I do get the logic, although I also get why he's like.
If you haven't seen Life with Father, you have to. It's really good.
And he also plays in The Thin Man.
Yeah, and he plays in Mr. Roberts.
Mr. Roberts. Yeah.
He's really good. But yeah, I will also have some stash enhancements coming in with that because Taya is helping me with some books.
Right. And because she doesn't have nearly as many, and also she doesn't have Booktube, she'll probably show her too. But my haul will show up on my Booktube and probably also on my book Instagram, because I've made an account that's attached to that's public, that's just book stuff.
I can't keep track of all those. I have 2 Instagram accounts, and I'm barely keeping up with either one of them.
Well, what I like about, honestly, my favorite thing about the book Instagram, people have really pretty pictures. Like they go ahead, they do like you do, where they, here's my mug and here's my pretty this, and it's like they're so much more artistic about it than I am. I'm like, I just like looking at your artistic book.
You're set up there. What's it called? They call it staging.
They stage really well. Like, I sit there, I'm super impressed. I'm like, darn, you guys are artists. So that's like a guilty pleasure there. But yeah, so I do have a Booktube related Instagram that's really literally just book stuff.
Right. Basically, that's it for projects and stuff. I did start yarn dyeing again. Nothing that you would recognize, because I'm trying to. They're what no makers used to call pot soakers or pot scrubbers or whatever she used to call them. They're one of a kind.
And you still haven't quite figured out what name you're sticking with. It used to be oopses, but you didn't want it to sound like mistakes. So, I mean, even though technically they kind of are.
This one I can actually, I put down, Jody, I put down what I did.
Oh, well, that's not really a pot soaker.
Well, it is, because I used up the yarn, the dye stock that was remaining. I got a very much of a plead from one of our PHNers. Please write your stuff down. So I'm
trying to get her to have a dedicated apron for dyeing and just keep a notepad in that apron.
It has to be. I think it has to be something. I have to be careful with if it pulls too much on my neck, it hurts my neck. But it has to be one that covers me all the way, and it has the pocket. So
well, if you have like one of those more. Like the ones you think of, like barbecue, like the really.
Well, I looked. I have one of those, and I don't like it.
What's wrong with it?
I don't know. I don't like it.
Or if you had like one of those house coat type of things where you could stick it in the pocket there.
Yeah, because
actually that would probably be even better because it covers more.
Yeah, I'm actually looking into. I don't know where you even go about finding it. I think a house coat is actually a summer robe, I don't think they have pockets.
Yeah, I think they do.
I have to look online, but in any event, I am going to keep a notebook in my pocket. This particular one's on a sticky or something on top of the pot. But
like Tolkien's notes that Christopher kept finding everywhere. This was on a scrap of paper over here in his illegible handwriting. And
I think I would have gotten along very well with Mr. Tolkien.
Professor Tolkien. Thank you very much.
Yes. I think I would have gotten along very well with him. But he
well, you call me a snob.
What?
You think that he wasn't literally a literary snob?
Well, he was a PhD. He earned it. Anyway, my point is that I have started dyeing stuff. I have a special order in that I'm working with the person. It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to the challenge. It's going to be a little interesting.
Well, it's a good way to get yourself back into the dyeing, because you kind of fell out of it after my surgery. I want to say that was about the right time.
I have phases, but when I have an intense period of time where I have to do either a kit or I have to do a fundraiser,
there's like a recovery
or something like that. It's like I shut down for a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I've got some yarn that I have to rinse out in the back room, just 2 skeins, and I'm hoping to maybe start experimenting with this other person's request to see if I can get something that's decent and not mud. So, because I really want to do this. It sounds like a challenge. It sounds like it'll be a lot of fun, and then I can hopefully. I have all the. I prefer the winter and fall colors, but I do enjoy some of the spring colors as well. I have a pretty good repertoire. I just haven't had them up in a while, so I'm hoping that. I've got a whole bunch of things. I just have to make sure I can find all my recipes for
because
them.
She doesn't always keep them in a.
I think some of them too. When I started out, some of the ones that I started out early on that I liked, I did in a different method.
Right, you've changed your methods.
I've changed my methods, so.
And then you weren't. You changed your dyes. Like you weren't.
Well, when I got into the shop, I was already an.
Okay, you weren't doing Kool-Aid.
I didn't do Kool-Aid dyes for the shop. I didn't feel like, or food coloring dyes. I didn't feel like those were. And this is not a slam against anybody who does.
No,
I just didn't feel like I wanted to sell something with those kind of dyes. I didn't feel like they were color fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I'm hoping to get more yarn dyeing done. I'm on the tail end of the tax stuff. So by the time we're finished with Easter, Holy Week and Easter, I should have some free time. Hopefully nothing else will crop up. So I can do some dyeing. I've started writing again, all that kind of stuff. So I feel like I need to do some creative stuff. I feel like, you get that, you feel like you're going to burst if you don't do something.
Yeah. It just occurred to me. You were mad because I didn't get myself checked out for my knee. That nurse practitioner's coming.
Yeah. Yep. She can take a look at it. Yep. Yeah. So we've got a lot of things going on. I mean, before we get into this part, which is kind of quasi life stuff, before we stop here, I want to thank all the people, in case there are people who want to leave without seeing this. I want to thank the people who commented on YouTube or on PHN. I saw them. I did not have a chance to respond because I've been working like a mad person on a number of things, like taxes and things, and bills and stuff like that. But we're grateful we can.
Yes.
We're grateful we have the funds to deal with that. So, okay. So, we want to thank the people who commented. Paula, Looney Hiker, Chronically Crocheting, and Meditative Crafter, and anyone else who may have posted in either place. We do appreciate that. And if you want to leave, you're one of those people who you want to leave, want to make sure we thanked you. And we'll say goodbye to anyone who wants to leave. We hope to see you here again for the Flynn and the Woman Cave next week. Those of you who are staying, we're going to get a little bit into life stuff, and then we're going to probably...
Because you had to eat. I just took a peek at the time to make sure we were still in a good period. Because, again, Mom and Davina have an appointment at a certain time, so in order for them to eat, they have to...
Yeah. So, but the nurse practitioner thing...
Yeah, that was just a... with my... I always forget, it's Medicare for me. It's Medicaid for Davina. With my Medicare, I'm attached to Aetna for that, and apparently they do home visits. I'm guessing it's once a year, and so I have a nurse practitioner coming in, so I will take advantage of that because I just didn't go because it popped itself back in.
I tried to get her to go, so obviously I was right because God made you have to see a nurse. If it really hadn't recovered, because there was a point where it's like, well, I might have to go, but I'm not actually sure I would have been able to leave the house physically when it first. Because I can help her as long as she's quasi-ambulatory.
I'm not sure if I would have been able to make it down her stairs.
Yeah, I mean, we would have had to use the wheelchair. But
I still wouldn't have been made down those 2 steps.
I think we could have gotten you down the stairs, but it would have been tough.
Because I was in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
So when it was at its worst, I probably wouldn't be able to do it.
If you had that much issue and you needed to go, and I felt you had to go to the doctor, I would have gone next door and had Charles help me, or somebody here would have helped.
If it hadn't gone back in, we could have made something happen.
Yeah, we don't know ambulance. I would have gone to the Hibble's house, or I would have gone somewhere. Even the floppy hat lady,
right?
So she's sweet.
But yeah, so that's gonna be nice because then I'm at the point where the swelling's gone down, just to kind of hurts if I move. I try to get up. When you're kneeled down to do something and then you try to go up with one knee, and I went up with the wrong knee, so it hurt. But so recovery time. Anyway, Mom has started talking me into, and this is not the first time. I don't know if it'll go anywhere this time, but maybe writing a little bit about experiences with chronic illness. Again, I don't know if I can do a long form thing about that. I honestly don't know how interesting that would even be.
I think it's necessary. I think there's enough people, like when Davina was coming out and not everybody knew about Asperger's, Taya's thing, they're becoming more familiar with it, but there are so many people who don't even know what it is, and they don't know what to look for. And I think it's imperative that people have as many resources out there. I have offered my editing services for her. So that's something that, something that I think she needs to think about doing. And
even if it's only cathartic to a certain extent. Like I said, I am a little bit, on the one hand, I can see where, especially during the beginning, it would have been really nice to see that. Now, different people's experiences are different. I've actually seen a few books out there that's combined speaking about experiences. I haven't seen terribly many who didn't really have it affect their lives till much later on. even though looking back, I can see trends.
Well, I think it's important because, especially if you're saying you work 10 years and you're going to be bringing to the table a perspective of, okay, I had a normal life up to this point, and then I had to let it all go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important. Even if the person doesn't have what you have, it can be someone who has, a car accident and is no longer ambulatory, or it can be a person who has whatever, and they're like, okay, the feelings and the idea that, okay, what am I now? Who am I now? What's my, this is a horrible thing to say, but some people feel this way. What is my worth now?
Well, it really is a redefining of your identity, because a lot of what people see themselves as is you put a lot of your self-worth, whether rightly or wrongly, in your independence, in those things that make you feel good about yourself. Yes, they don't define you in the core as your person, but your ability to do certain things, that's usually how you think. When you think of who you are, those tend to be the things you think of.
Yeah, and that's a cultural bias, I think. I mean,
if someone was to ask you who you were, you would probably say you're a mom.
Well, I'd say I'm a wife and mother, but if you were to ask me to go deeper down, I hope I would have a different answer as well, because if you tie yourself up so much in the doing instead of the being, then you risk serious repercussions if something happens to take the doing away.
Well, I think what happens is it all depends why you're tied to a certain thing the way you are. Because, okay, take for me in nursing, it was partially, felt like it was a spiritual calling. So it was very much tied into other things besides just, this is work.
No, I get that.
So it does take a period of adjustment.
Oh, absolutely.
And mourning.
No one is saying that it wouldn't. My point is that...
And a rediscovering of who I am now.
But again, that's still the superficial. Your core is your mission, if you will, is to be there for other people, to be you have a healer or a protector or healer kind of soul.
But when you lose the ability to do that,
but you lose the ability to do it in that particular way.
But when you find that you become incapable of doing, everyone else has to do what you used to be able to do, so you don't feel like you are this, like you don't have the ability to do that caring for others the way you have to focus on yourself.
You have to reevaluate what you're, and this is a struggle. You can tell this is a struggle we've had before. It's a conversation we've had several times, that you have to reevaluate and revise how you're helping becomes a different way. Your ability to do this, that, or the other thing becomes a different way, and it's not any less. It's just different. And because she had to go through, I haven't gone through this, she has, and so I see it from a more academic point of view. She has the experience, and the point is, what I'm hoping that somebody this will get across is that it's not the doing that makes you important or who you are. It's the being. It's who you are, not what you do or the fact that you can't do it anymore. Not saying that they're not going to mourn, not saying that they're not going to miss it, not saying that's a big chunk out of their life. Just that who they are is more important than what they do.
And while that is true, it definitely feels like a whole. And then,
oh yeah, sure, absolutely.
And then there is a feel. It takes away a certain feeling of autonomy. I could do this and I could help people. And I've always enjoyed having the ability, I can just, pick up the groceries every once in a while for you guys. I got that covered.
Well, you still do other things.
But it takes a while. It takes a while, because if that's a part of your person, if doing or things like in that way is your love language, if that's how you show you care, when you lose the capacity to do that, it's really you are remaking yourself.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. But see, when you're remaking yourself again, it doesn't change what you are, who you.
Well, no, the core is still there, but the very integral aspects of how you see yourself And that's going to happen regardless of...
No, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, even I had it to a lesser extent when I stopped homeschooling.
Exactly.
I had to let, it was like, okay, not that I stopped, we were finished. Okay.
We grew up.
They grew up, yes. I mean, how dare they grow up?
Well, think about empty nest syndrome, all the, you know, it's a...
I was blessed I never had an empty nest syndrome.
No, you got other things.
Yeah.
And again, think about that adjustment period.
That was hard. The adjustment of losing, again, her being didn't change, but what we could do changed. What we could experience together changed.
And then then also future plans had to change because I am no longer physically capable of doing things that, you know, in the future I was always supposed to get Davina, so okay, that changes. We had to make plans again. So that's kind of the broad thing of what we're thinking of. I just don't putting that in a way that just doesn't feel like a bleh,
Yeah.
and that anyone will care besides.
No, you know, just you pray about it, and then you do it a little at a time, because she's going to get the shared story hopefully pretty soon, and then she'll be working on that, and so you know, that kind of thing. And I'm going to have to bone up on my editing if I'm going to do,
because I can do navel gazing writing. I just am not sure if it can go more than like a couple pages before it's like, okay, petered.
But anyway, so yeah, you guys didn't realize you were going to get Philosophy 101 at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Davina's nothing major. Her blood work is just she has her hands get very pale and cold and discolored, and so we're testing her for something. It's not life threatening. It's just that circulation, and we want to make sure that that's all it is. And you know,
and I've had an idea of what it's been for a while.
My father has it. My dad has it.
So I've had, you know, it's not something that's really...
It's not something worrisome. We just want to know what it is.
Right. So it scares her less.
Yeah, because she gets freaked out.
But now she has, like, these fashionable little gloves she can wear with cold.
Ty picked them up for this. It was a packet of 5 for, like, $16.
It was so cheap, and they're cute.
And they're cute. So she puts them under her fingerless mitts when her hands...
and they're all different colors, so she can match them to her outfits.
We went and saw her nurse a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Told her exactly what we told her. Dress warmer, cover your hands. She wouldn't do it. Sarah said it. Now she'll do it.
Yeah, because she was so mad when I'd be like, this is what's happening. Mm-hmm. Do this thing. Well, Sarah told her, now she'll do it.
Mm-hmm. I don't care. She says, I don't care what made her do it. Fine. Okay.
Nobody in my family listens to me when I suggest things.
That's not true.
If I suggest to Dad, he won't do it until he hears it from another health professional. Same thing with Davina. Certain extent, same thing with you.
That's not everybody. I'm tired of being lumped.
You have done it.
Okay.
I have no influence.
She doesn't do it either. It doesn't matter. It's not like
the thing is, I'm not talking about medical. I'm the one with the professional.
I'm not talking about the medical. I'm talking about other things. I can say something to her like, no. And it's the XYZ person will say, oh yeah, that's a good idea.
No, it doesn't happen.
It does happen.
It does not.
It does. Anyway, we want to wish you all a wonderful week. And we want to remind again the Patreons, we have a Zoom on Friday.
Yes.
For the Patreons and for the upper tier. And we are grateful that you came to join us for the Fun in the Womb Cave.
You can tell that we very much are unedited because we just had a complete conversation, which is what we normally have normally. So, yes, this is...
What?
What I'm saying is this is definitely not something like we sit there and we edit and we definitely...
What you see is what you get.
So, like, if you were to come here and literally have tea with us, we might burst into the exact same conversation. This was not a planned thing at all.
No.
And I'm not editing it out.
It's like there's no filter. I mean, there is a filter.
There's a filter, but it's stream of consciousness to a certain extent, and we both tend to philosophize to a certain extent. I know I tend to overthink a little bit.
I do sometimes too.
But
that's, you guys know us. Some of you guys have been with us for 10 years. You guys know us. Yeah. Okay. So anyway,
a little over 10 years.
Yep. I don't know if anybody's here from day one, but
well, Sue's not right now, but Brittany's pretty. Well, no, I can't remember when
Brittany came in a couple years in.
When did Rena come in?
It's about the same time, I think.
We gotta have somebody who's from the beginning.
We might, but I don't.
Okay, if any of y'all who are still watching remember us from like the
Nurse with Needles.
Yeah, back in the Nurse and Needles days. Like, put in the comments if you are an original Nurse with Needles.
Year 1.
Year 1.
Or even year 2.
Or even year 2. Like, do we have any OG Nurse with Needles people?
OG?
Original.
Oh, original's OG?
Yeah, that's the acronym.
Okay.
Get with the times, Mom.
I've never been with the times. Why should I start now?
I do so much internet stuff that...
I don't care. I'm not cool. Anyway, okay, so
it just makes it easier when you're typing fast.
We want to wish you all a wonderful week full of knitting, crocheting, loom knitting, paper craft, whatever it is that makes you happy. And we hope to see you here again for the Fun in the Woman Cave next week. This is the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 547, and that's a wrap.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. God bless.